Greetings, sports fans. It's George here. Decided to make a video for the Mayweather McGregor super fight. Man, I can't wait. It's finally here. Haven't made a video related to a sporting event in a long time, so I've been thinking about making a variety of different videos over the past few months, but I can't pass up the opportunity to make a video about this fight because I've been intrigued by this fight. Been really waiting. Looking forward to it, and now it's finally here. We're one day away. I was very relieved to see that Conor made weight today, and it's going to happen. So let's see. Okay. So I'm going to give my prediction and my thoughts. And I can't help. I've been going back and forth on this. This is a classic case of head versus heart in some ways. I do have to hedge. I don't like to do that normally in sporting events. I usually, for the most part, regardless of what sport it is, I make my analysis and then I go one way or another. In this one, I have to, okay, so I think that I'm looking at it on a number of different levels, and the first level being, or in a number of different ways, if you will. And first I'm looking at, okay, who do I think stands the best chance of winning the fight? And then secondarily, I'm looking at it from a betting perspective. Who do I think offers the better value in terms of a bet? And I think that Floyd is probably going to be the victor here. So that's where I'm bet. So that's my pick with my head, and then with my heart, I'm going for Conor because I'm a huge Conor fan. I've been a big UFC fan. I guess within the last 10 years, I've become much more of an MMA fan than boxing. I used to follow boxing way back in the day, back in its, going all the way back to the 80s, 90s. But that sport's in decline as far as I'm concerned. And I think that Floyd's a brilliant boxer, no denying that, and that's why I have to pick him. I think it's more likely that he's going to win. I think most likely scenario for this fight is that Floyd wins by TKO or KO somewhere in the middle rounds. I'll say maybe like somewhere between rounds 5 and 8. However, I think that Conor does have a distinct chance of winning, and I can't believe that there are people out there that think, especially in the boxing community, they're just totally. They look at this with almost religious zeal, I think. Not almost, definitely. It does remind me of religious fanatics who just can't see any other way of thinking. But I think Conor definitely has a shot, Now, I wouldn't bet. I don't like to bet. I've looked at the odds now here. I think, as far as just the straight up bets, who, betting on one fighter to just flat out win the fight. I don't think, Floyd's numbers have come in quite a bit. He started out when the fight opened, he was a minus 3,000 favorite, and that's come down so now quite a bit because there's been so much money coming in on Conor, and now Floyd's down to like around, I don't know what the latest is, but he's somewhere around that minus 450, 500 range. And now conversely, Conor started out at around, when the fight opened up, when the fight was announced, he was plus 1100, which was a pretty good value. If you could have bet at that time, that would have been pretty attractive bet, I think. But he's been steady. He's now somewhere around the mean average as of a couple days ago, around 360, 370. So plus 360, plus 370. So, he doesn't, I mean, I guess if I had to bet one way on one of those, pick one of those, okay, I'd probably pick Conor, but I mean, I'd make it a fairly modest bet. Actually, to me, the bet, there's a whole bunch of, if you include all the prop bets out there, there are a wide variety of bets. And I think that the prop bet that makes the most sense for this fight, offers the best value, would be the prop bets that are being offered for Conor winning anywhere between rounds 1 and 4. As of, I don't know if it's changed much, as of a couple days ago, as of Wednesday, it was Conor winning in round 1 plus 2,400, Conor winning in round 2 plus 3,000, Conor winning in round 3 plus 3,000, Conor winning in round 4 plus 3,000. But then it starts going up significantly. Conor winning in round 5 plus 4,800, Conor winning in round 6 plus 7,000, which, of course indicates that the books and the bettors think that Conor's best shot is in the opening rounds, and I would agree with that. That's where he's gonna be the most dangerous, because he's not going to be fatigued at that point. He's just going to be going in full blast like a buzzsaw, and the question is, can Floyd defend himself against Conor's haymakers? And we're going to find out. So, I mean, if Floyd has retained his blazing hand speed, I think he is probably still going to be the fastest fighter that Conor's ever faced. But I think, Conor hits really hard. There is no question about that. And that's one of the things that I don't understand, that people in the boxing community, including some very, savvy analysts, don't seem to be acknowledging in a way, or don't recognize it, don't accept it, that Conor's got some real punching power, especially in his left. You've got these analysts like Max Kellerman, who I know is a bright guy, but he's so dedicated to boxing. I think it really has skewed his view of this fight. He predicted that Conor, not only is Conor not going to win a round, but he won't even land a significant punch in the whole entire fight, which I just don't buy at all. I just find that almost impossible to accept, that Conor McGregor can't land a significant punch. Are you kidding me? And another funny thing is that some of these analysts in the boxing world and in the sporting world in general seem to think that boxers are just so much more powerful and dangerous. I mean, classic example, New York Times today, there's in the front page article, it says, "In big fight, doctors fear dangerous mismatch." Meaning, of course, the danger is for Conor McGregor, that he could end up getting killed in the ring here or something. Which, I mean, clearly tells me that. And there have been a couple of cases where mixed martial arts fighters have gone into the boxing ring, and I think one guy was killed, another guy was seriously injured. That can happen in either sport, and you know, I don't think some of these guys have watched, clearly haven't watched what goes on in the octagon to understand that Conor is very capable of surviving what he's going to face tomorrow night in the boxing ring. I mean, he may lose, but you know, is is Floyd going to demolish him to the point where his life is threatened? I find that really, frankly, I think that's absurd. So, one of the really intriguing things about this fight is that we really want to see. I want to see, and I'm sure many other people want to see, what kind of game plan Conor and his team have come up with to try to defeat Floyd. Because we know, I know it's going to be something different. He's going to be unorthodox in some way, and that may give him an opening. When you see, it takes when somebody presents a style that you have never seen before, that may give him an opportunity. A good example of that, I think, in the UFC was a few years ago when John Jones faced Lyoto Machida, Lyoto Machida is a karate master from Brazil, and he gave Jones one of the toughest rounds to this day. That's one of the tough. He took the first round from Jones, and he had Jones off balance because of his karate punches and his these unorthodox stances. And I think Conor is going to be we'll do something similar to that. Now, going back, in the Jones fight, eventually Jones was able to elbow Machida, which opened up a gash on his forehead, and then he was able to push him up against the cage, and he put him into a standing guillotine, and he choked him out while he was standing. Of course, Floyd's not going to be able to do any of that. Of course, Conor's not going to be able to use any of his MMA moves either. Well, most of them, I shouldn't say, not any of them. He obviously won't be able to kick, he won't be able to elbow, but I think he's going to also be looking to rough him up in any way that he can. So that's going to be really intriguing also. I think Conor's team is very smart. Conor's always very well prepared for his fights. So again, it's going to be very interesting to see how, what the game plan is. And it's going to be really, I hope it's going to be exciting. It could be, I'm looking, nothing really would shock me. This could be a one-round fight. It could go all the way, although I doubt it. Both Conor and Floyd have said, no way, this is not going to be going 12 rounds. Although those who say that Conor doesn't have the stamina to go 12 rounds, I think they're mistaken. And just within the last week, Joe Cortez, the veteran boxing referee that Conor hired for his camp, stated that Conor is very capable of going 12 rounds, and he was impressed by Conor's conditioning. I think he's pretty well qualified to make that assessment. So we'll see. So again, I have to say I'm really rooting for Conor. I don't dislike Floyd. I really actually respect his ability and his great career quite a bit. But again, I like Conor, and I've become such a big MMA fan that I'm rooting for the MMA fighter here. We'll see. May the best man win, and I hope all of you who are interested in it are able to watch the fight. And I think it's going to be a real spectacle. It's going to be an historic event. So that's pretty cool. All right. So may the best man win. We'll see. All right. George out here. Although I may, depending on how it goes, I may post a post-fight interview as well. Post-fight video as well. And I'm also going to write a small, short blog post for this. Okay. George out.